Well, welcome to another great adventure. If this hat tells you anything, another great adventure of Dr. Russ's air rifle adventures. And we've got some good information for you today, I think. While I'm wearing this silly hat, which I got at a flea market yesterday for $5, and it's actually a pretty good hat. I'm not sure if I'll ever wear it other than for this video. But I also like to share a little humor. And this is a true story. If you remember anything about Art Linkletter, and he said kids say the darndest thing. Well, there was a gal named Eileen. She was just 9 years old, and she said, when you come home from church on Sunday, be sure you don't try to baptize the cat. It'll certainly get you in trouble. Okay, now with the humor gone, let me put on a real hunting hat. Here's a hat that I am most comfortable in. I've always believed that before you can be a great air gunner, a great executive, a great manager, a great husband, you've got to be a great, or at least a good person first. And so I started these series within our series, trying to share with you some of the mistakes I made going through life. And if you can avoid them, you'll be a better person just for that. But being a good person is something you have to focus on. I do almost daily. But you have to do it if you truly, and the reason it's difficult is being a good person, a really good person, requires us to make some changes. Each day I think, okay, now, today I'm going to be a good person because I'm not going to do that anymore. So it's changed, very difficult word. I've said this story before, but it's worth saying again. There was an Indian chief. He had a son, one son, who was one day going to be the chief. And the son approached the chief. He said, you know, I'm the fastest runner. I ride the fastest horse. I shoot the biggest game. When am I going to be the chief? And the chief said to his son, you know, every morning when I wake up, I look out at our whole tribe, 200 families. And so my focus is a line that creates a circle around that entire tribe. I've been watching you, and your circle just barely gets around your feet. So when your vision, your focus is to watch over the entire tribe, that's when you'll become a chief. I think that's good advice for all of us in an effort to be a good person, changing to be like that chief. Another piece of that wisdom is to ask yourself this question: am I happy in my job, in my role in life, in this house, in this location, in this spot between my siblings? Are you happy? Because I got to tell you, if you're not happy, if you're not really happy about where you are right now, trying to be a good person is going to be more of an uphill battle. So ask that question. Make changes where necessary, even if it's a different job in a different town. It's very, very important that you're happy. My third piece of wisdom today is, do you remember every first week of January we used to make New Year's resolutions? Even the newspaper said, here's a dozen you can choose from. I haven't heard that in years now. We've kind of gotten away from New Year's resolutions. My actual message is not a New Year's resolution, but being resolved each day to be better than I was yesterday. Now that's a challenge, and it can be done. We've just got to sit down and make some notes to ourselves. Write an article to yourself. I'm not happy, but I'm going to make some resolutions that make me happy, so I can be a good person to those around me. Draw a big circle around the people you work with, your family, your spouse and kids. And only then do you even have a chance to be a good person. Keep this in mind. Your job and those people there probably are not going to come and help you if you get yourself in trouble or get sick. It's going to be the closest members of your family that do that. And there will be a day you'll be like that. So it's very, very important that we resolve to be a better person to those about us each and every day. Before I share some tips with you on how you can be a better air gunner, a better air gun hunter, let me share something about this rifle. You're going to see this air gun a couple of times in your future. One is on some videos that we have coming on our iguana hunt that took place last week down in southeast Florida. What is this gun? Well, I think a few weeks ago I talked to you about how Donnie Doo was overlooking the Nixon air guns and made changes for his future gun that he was going to promote. And when I was last down to see Zach Matthews of Aries, who joined us on the Airgun Hunter, he brought this gun. I found out that it was much better than most guns. For one thing, it comes in a camouflage. It also comes in black camouflage. It comes with 2 barrels. Why? Well, it turns out that some of you are just die-hard 22 caliber people, and your backyard supports 22 caliber. Some of you are 25 caliber. My backyard supports a 25 caliber. I'm often shooting destructive critters at almost 100 yards. And I need that knockdown power of 25. So this gun comes with both barrels. And a nice cheek piece. It also comes with a regulator. That happens to be on my deal breaker list. If you remember, I have a list of, I think, 72 items that can be a deal breaker for you. And you need to look those over before you go buying anything. But a regulator is something for me. And Zach made sure that a company in Turkey by the name of rainson, a little bit like Nixon, but rainson, would make that gun for him, and they said they would. If you'll recall, Turkey makes an awful lot of gun parts for everybody. Powder guns, air guns, shotguns. And that's what he asked them to do. A sheet that rises up, rings for a scope, for a sling, and a nice Picatinny rail for the scope of your choice. He ultimately took off the moderator going around the barrel. I've always said the barrel's a little bit like a straw. Well, there's your barrel for you, and a flash suppressor. If you recall, we believe in being safe and sharp and silent. So I'm asking Zach to go over and see if he can't find a good silencer, suppressor to go on this air gun. He said he would check it out. Now that's a beautiful regulated air gun, 2 barrels. I said, what price? Well, he scratched his head a bit. He said, I think I can get it out of here for $700. That's an excellent price for all that this air gun offers. We'll see in the coming weeks if he can do that, and if he can, I'll let you know. Now let's get into those air gun tips. I want to thank Dr. Paula for being our camera person today. You know, some people have some really ugly camera people, but I'm fortunate. I've got a very beautiful, and I have trouble watching into the lens rather than the beautiful lady behind. This limb right here has something to do with my tips. Number one, if you're going out to hunt anything, and you're getting let's say a deer license, a hog license, whatever, elk license, be sure you take an air gun to 2 guns, and that you get 2 licenses, small game, because that's a lot of sitting, maybe up to 4 and 5 days waiting for that right trophy to come by. But I'm able to shoot 4 or 5 small critters that keep the hunt camp menu full and keeps me busy throughout the entire 5 days. Secondly, always take a tree saw or some trimming clippers and make sure that you cut a good path wherever you're going to sit or stand, so that when that deer comes through, that raccoon comes, whatever it is, you got a nice clear path. We had to clear some of this tree right here just for me to do a video, so you can imagine what it's like trimming for hunting. Number 3, be sure you exercise in the month before you go hunting, that you're in shape for it, because that requires all new muscles and joints and whatever. And you've got to be in pretty good shape to do that. It's possible that if you don't exercise, that last hill that you decide not to go over, that might be the hill that's hiding that trophy on the other side. So be sure that you're in good shape before you go out in the field. Let me ask you to do a couple of things. Number 1, you might want to order some of our shirts or hats. I think we're the only one that has these in kind of a military color. So if you can, take a look at that, and we still have some. And when they're gone, they're gone. So be sure you do that. Also, with every order, we throw in some of these stickers. They peel right off of this. It's kind of a heavy-duty paper. And you can put it on a lot of things to make sure everybody knows it's yours. So the shirt, the hat, the stickers, and one last thing that we stick in everyone, and that's our list of 72 deal breakers. I don't know if it's a deal breaker for me, but I think I'm going to put in a camouflage stock. Just might be important enough to decide on the right gun versus the wrong gun. So, lastly, if you thought today's video did something for you, please give us a thumbs up. If you want to make sure you see our iguana and our daisy museum videos right when they come out, be sure you subscribe. That's the way you get a notice that these things are coming out. Lastly, remember this. We're all about staying safe, staying sharp, and silent.